welcome to stay for the whole entirety, if you will. But Muslims and Afro-descendants, all of us are the same. We're just Muslim Afro-descendants, whereby you may be a Black man or a Black woman who has not yet identified yourself as being an Afro-descendant. But we implore you to go to www.afrodescendant.org and read all of the information that is necessary for you to read, and then sign up to become a legal member of the Afro-descendant government. Now, just to give you a little bit more information about the Afro-descendant government, the Afro-descendant, that name in and of itself is a name that 19 leaders throughout the diaspora sat down under UN protection in a forum, and they decided on a name that we will begin to call ourselves. Let's understand the very first reason why they were there from the first place is to get reparations and to get justice for Black people, not just in America, but through the entire diaspora. The Black people in the diaspora, the leaders, they were seeking reparations. The Black people over here in America, we're seeking reparations. So that when these leaders all converge upon the UN to get reparations and to have answers to our problems, then the UN assigned them a gentleman by the name of Dr. Yusuf Kla, I believe. And this man ascertained that since we all have the same problem and is suffering from the same thing, which are the lingering effects of plantation slavery, then our call for justice, our call for reparations, it cannot be divided. The Black people in America are asking for this. Our Black people in the diaspora, Panama, Jamaica, et cetera, they're asking for that. We had to sit down, and the very first step to achieving our objective to get reparations is to come up with an identity. It must be understood that Black people in America, we have been misidentified, not by our own choice, but by our slave masters. Keep in mind, remember they first gave us the name Negroes and colored people. We called ourselves that as a nationality. Our leaders who were educated among us, they accepted those names as identities for us. And because we were the least educated, we believed them, we followed them because we thought they had our best interests at heart, albeit we will learn later that it would be like blind leading the blind, because there's no such thing as an identity of people called Negroes, colored, not even African Americans. So because these names was destroyed through ethnocide, these leaders had to sit down and determine from this day forward what, because it is coming. You can rest assured that it is coming. But we don't want other people jumping on the bandwagon who haven't experienced what we experienced. So therefore we needed a name and a definition that would distinguish us from everybody else. And that name is Afro-descendants. And in a nutshell, all Black people that were brought from Africa over to the Western Hemisphere for the purposes of enslavement fit the criteria of Afro-descendant. Now, there are other definitions too. We'll get into that later, but I just wanted to give you that general picture of Afro-descendants. All Black people that were brought from Africa to the Western Hemisphere for the purposes of enslavement fit the definition of Afro-descendants. So when this name Afro-descendants was agreed upon, these leaders took the name back to the Human Rights Commission, who oversaw this particular meeting, our case. And they presented it to the United Nations, and the United Nations wrote it in their records. And they termed it ethnogenesis. Now, what does ethnogenesis mean? It means the rebirth of a people. See, in other words, my beloved brothers and sisters who are not familiar with this, we had to have a new beginning because we're not Americans. We're not African Americans. We're not Negroes. We're not colored people. We're not Black Americans. Our whole identity as a people was destroyed through the system of ethnocide. And what is ethnocide? Ethnocide is the complete destruction of a people, culture, language, way of life, their mores, their customs. When we came to America, we were still in possession of what made us a human being. We were human when they came and got us. It wasn't until we were brought here to the shores of America and put on those plantations, ethnocide began. Because the minute they forced their name, Mr. Dinkins, Mr. Fish, Miss Williams, when they started forcing those names upon us, made us take them against our will, that was the beginning of the destruction of us as human beings. When they forced their language upon us, English, that was the beginning of the destruction of our humanity. When they forced us to take their culture, religion, that was the beginning of the destruction of us as human beings. When they forced us to celebrate Christmas through forced assimilation, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and all these other European holidays, customs and ways, European custom and ways, that was the destruction of us as a human being. So in reality, we became clones, underlings for the Caucasian white government, because there was no way we could go back and get our language. It was destroyed, it was gone for good. So these leaders recognized that. And they say the buck stops here now. So it is here that we will redefine ourselves. And who are we? What will we be called? Afro-descendants. So Afro-descendants is our new political and our new global identity as a people. I'm a Muslim, but my nationality is Afro-descendant. There may be a Christian. We have Christians that have embraced that name, Afro-descendant. They're Christian, but their nationality is Afro-descendant. This brother may be Moorish American, but his nationality is Afro-descendant. This is all we're trying to get our people in America who are Afro-descendants or who are descendants of ex-slaves to do, is to accept, embrace their new identity, Afro-descendant. Now, why is that important? Because it set the stage for us getting reparations. See, you'll never get it. We will never get it as African Americans. You know why? Because African Americans are underlings. They belong to white America, and white America knows this, and she's mocking our people. She knows that we are her underlings as long as we go by that identity as African American. We're neither African nor are we American. The 400 years of what we went through have completely made us different people than African. We're completely detached from Africa now. We're new people, like it or not, accept it or not. The fact remains, we're new people, we're different, we have different experiences than our brothers and sisters in Africa. We even look different. It's because of the mixture of the blood between Indians, the tribal Indians here, the different tribes of Africans that came here, and the Europeans. All of that, 400 years of all of that, have made us into a new people. So since we are new people, behold, we have a new name, a new identity, Afro-descendants. And you could go on our website and learn more about Afro-descendants, or you can keep coming to our Zoom meeting and ask questions to get more information about Afro-descendants. But once that name was accepted by the UN and it was recorded on their books, do you realize what that name have caused? Do you realize the power that accepting Afro-descendant, what that gave us? It gave us the right to self-determination. It gave us the right to snatch our power from the white America and say, I'm no longer your underling because I'm not an African American. My identity, I'm an Afro-descendant. That's right. You don't own me no more, white man. I'm free from you. I know my identity now, and I have every right every right, legal and internationally, to accept my new identity without repercussion. And I choose Afro-descendant as my political identity, my global identity, and as my nationality, albeit I'm a Muslim. But I'm an Afro-descendant by heart, and I'm proud to be an Afro-descendant. We want you to embrace that. You don't have to, before I say that, let me say this. Because we have embraced and accepted Afro-descendant as our identity, that gave us the political right. It gave us the international right that is protected by law, international law, to self-determination. And that's what the Afro-descendants in America have done. We have decided to self-determine. So what we did is we got our own constitution. That's right. And having our own constitution, born from that constitution, which is the foundation of any government must have a constitution. What's born from our constitution is the executive branch, the legislative branch, and the judicial branch. In a nutshell, our constitution, at the very bottom of it, the bedrock of it, is truth, fairness, freedom, justice, and equality. All laws that's made in the Afro-descendant government, this new Afro-descendant government, will be coming from that foundation to make sure that people, whoever they may be or wherever they may be in the Afro-descendant government, will get freedom, justice, and equality. And that's where we are right now. But we need our people. We need our people to embrace that. Not just say it, well, I'm a Black person anyway, so no. You make your statement to the world when you go online and you become a legal member of the Afro-descendant nation. What you're saying to America and to the world, behold, I'm here. I'm here as a new man belonging to a new nation, a new government, Afro-descendant people. Now, multitudes of our people are going to have to come to grips with this, whether they like it or not. They can't do anything about it. The Caucasian man, is he aware that we have a government existing right here in her midst? Yes. The United States government is aware that we exist. She is aware that we have a new identity. Why don't you know, brother? Why don't you know, sister? Because it's not to America's interest to inform you to something that's going to benefit you. She knows that the multitude of our people that accept Afro-descendant is setting the stage for us to get massive reparations on our terms, not on America terms. It sets the stage for a government, the Afro-descendant government, to sit down with America government, with an international mediator as equals, not as America's underling, but as equals, and demand compensation for what happened to our ancestors. We can't get them on the moral aspects of slavery, but we can't get them on the legal aspects of it, meaning this. The International Covenant on Political, the International Covenant on Political Rights, it gives us that protection that we need. It's setting the stage and protects us and makes us independent of America in that sense, in the legal term. International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights. That's what I was trying to communicate to you. That covenant is where America has, she sanctioned it. She signed her signature to it. And if that be the case, we got America solely on the principle of violating our human rights. You don't have them right now, brothers and sisters. Ask yourself this question. Can you speak your mother's tongue? The answer is no. Can you practice your ancestral religion? The answer is no. Those are human rights that were violated. Look at the Jim Crow laws, the violation of our rights during that era. That's where we have America at. That's why we know we have an airtight case. But our people, our beloved people who think they're African Americans, they don't know this. That's where we come in at. It's our job to get out in the streets, to get you to come to our meetings, to get you to come to our forums and listen to information so that you can make a sagacious decision about what direction that you're going to take with you and your family as it relates to your identity. Are you an African American? If you say yes, what you're telling the Caucasian man is I'm gonna forever be your underling. If you say I'm a Negro, all of that, you're letting the Caucasian man know that I want to remain your underling. It is only when you say, I declare myself an Afro-descendant legally, is when you put the world on notice that we're coming. We're coming. A new people rising up. And our demand for reparations, I want to let you know what our demand for reparations is. See, because they're playing games with our people. I listen to all of them. The intellectuals, they intellectualize and break down the problem very good. I mean, the studies have been shown. So we see the problem. We know what the problem is. We're talking about solutions. The solution, according to Mr. Silas Muhammad, is not to just get money and to close the wealth gap, the educational gap here in America. No, that's not the objective. See, when we get paid reparations, we don't want America getting the money back. No. See, they're trying to get us to accept reparations, knowing that all we're going to do is buy Cadillacs, sneakers, the most name brand clothes that are out here, Gucci and all that, trying to live it up, splurging like the prodigal son. White America knows this about us. So she would try to give us reparation on her terms, but this is wrong. You don't get reparation on the terms of the person that injured you. That means America has to listen to what our demands are, not what you decide to want to give us, like they're doing in certain of these states like California and Evanston, Illinois. They're determining how much they're going to give the people and what they should do with it. You can't tell me to do nothing. Only thing America have to do is listen to our demands, and we do what we want to do with our money. So what are we asking for? What is Mr. Silas Muhammad asking for in terms of reparations? Number one, we want land. Why? Well, because we want to separate from America. History has proven, just by looking at Black Wall Street, just by looking at Marcus Garvey movement, just by looking at even the Nation of Islam, that America has the propensity to destroy every piece of progress that we make among ourselves. She comes and wears division against us by living here in America. So we know we can't be successful inside of this country. It's too much animosity, too much hatred, too much jealousy. So we want land. Not only do we want land, but we want money. Now, Germany paid Israel, the state of Israel, $14 billion over a certain amount of period of time. Well, perhaps America can give us $40 billion in installments over a period of time. Not only money, but now we want America to give us, listen to me, Mr. Silas Muhammad said, America needs to give us any and everything we want in order to build a modern and a civilized nation on our new land. That's correct. America used our ancestors for 400 years free. And as a result, look at America today. Do you remember when you go back into history and you look at how this place was, the Western Hemisphere was before our ancestors started cutting down those trees and doing all that hard labor and dying as a result? It was a wilderness, the whole Western Hemisphere. It was a wilderness. Our ancestors did all of the hard work for 400 years, 379 years, and gave America a huge head start. And as a result, look at America today. Her people and white people in general got wealth as a result of what the slaves did. So America, we gave you 400 years of free labor to get you started. Surely The Afro-descendant nation need a start. Because even if America gave us all of the money in their banks, that's not enough. You have to understand the ramifications of what happened to you. You can't. We are laughing stocks of the world. The only people on earth that can't connect with our mother's tongue. Everybody else can speak that mother's tongue. Yours has been destroyed. You mimic the white man's. Mimic the white man. Everybody else can practice their own culture. We mimic the white man's culture. Celebrate Christmas, Halloween, Thanksgiving, you name it. Whatever is European, we celebrate it because it's their culture. We don't have one. So we are forced to accept theirs. You can never recapture what your culture was back in the motherland because we came from different tribes. That's damage. That's destruction. And when you look at us today, look at how we act today as a people. We are the only people that get on YouTube saying why I don't date black women, why I don't date black men. We're the only people that break up our marriage and run to and get a white woman or a white man instead of getting another black man or a black woman. In the case of Dale Curry, father and mother. 2 black couples broke up. He got a white woman and she got a white man. Well, damn, you don't mean to tell me there's no other black men or black women out there? The first thing you run to is a white woman or a white man? Those are the lingering effects of plantation slavery. Black people killing their families? Brother, we didn't used to have that among us. We didn't used to have a history of killing our families, of mothers butchering their children. What you're seeing when you see that on the news, when you see the history of us like now, the crimes that we're committing. We didn't used to commit those crimes. All of these crimes that are being committed, most of them are a direct result of the lingering effects of plantation slavery, self-hatred, lingering effects of plantation slavery. Don't trust one another. Lingering effects of plantation slavery. Can't get along with one another, walking around with attitude. Lingering effects of plantation slavery. Why? Because they destroyed us through ethnocide. So America don't have enough money to replace that. So since you don't, America, here are our demands. See, reparations is to make us whole. You can't make us whole with $40 billion. That's not making us whole. Our people need help. We need institutions set up where our people can get psychiatric treatment. I'm very serious about that. We need to see psychologists. We need all kinds of institutions in order to heal the black people. We need healing, brother. We got bad attitudes. We don't know how to talk to one another. And as a result, it makes us hate one another. And we start thinking that, well, the white man treat me better than the black man. Well, why did the black man treat you like that? He treats you like that because the knowledge of himself has been destroyed through ethnocide. We were well in possession of our human rights in Africa until they came and brought us to America. Once we got to America, they messed us up. We are America's Frankenstein. America must pay for that, and we must be willing to make her pay. The only way you can get her, brother, because the only way you can get a sister, reparations, and America well knows this, it's not paid to civil rights organizations. It's not paid to grassroots organizations. It's not paid to a bunch of people that don't even know themselves. You think America's gonna pay? First of all, you're African Americans are her underling. That means she owns you. That means she can play with you if she wants to. Well, nigga, you mine. You don't believe me? Watch that movie, All Black People Left America on Spaceships on YouTube. If you haven't seen it yet, I implore you to watch that. All Black People Left America on Spaceships. You're still a slave, property to America because you got the name Afro-American, African-American, or some of us even call ourselves American. We think we are American. You're being deceived. And that's why we want you to come. You don't have to participate in the government of the Afro-descendant nation, you don't even have to leave when we leave America. But as long as you accept your identity of Afro-descendants, right now, that's good enough. Just accept your identity. I declare myself an Afro-descendant. That's my nationality. Discontinue calling yourself an African-American. Tell your mother, tell your father, tell your sister, your brother, your friends, your aunties, your uncle. Tell every Black person that don't know, tell them to stop, discontinue, to cease and desist with identifying themselves as African Americans, and to go to www.afrodescendant.org and register to become a legal member of the Afro-descendant nation. And like I said, you ain't got to participate in it. The government is here. The president and her cabinet, they're working right now to get other leaders involved. I'm talking about renowned leaders involved to meet with Mr. Silas Muhammad so that we can discuss this issue about self-determination and our identity. Because only when we choose Afro-descendant, this is the only language that white America can understand. And she can't do anything about it because we're protected under international law. You don't know it, but we do. And that's why we want you to come to our meeting to let you know. You got freedom now. Don't be like, as they say, the Juneteenth people who didn't even know that they were free until 30 or some odd years, 60 years or whatever. They didn't even know they were free. We're telling you, you're free. So-called African American, you're free now. You don't have to accept the white man being your master anymore. He will have no more power over you, really, once you accept Afro-descendant. You will be operating with dual citizenship. Member in the Afro-descendant government, as well as in the United States government. At least you will have a nation backing you up, like China. The Chinese people, they have a nation backing them up, where if their citizens are misused, oh, they got a nation backing them up where they can put international pressure on the United States government. Every citizen that's over here got a government backing them up, whereas if America mistreats them, they got a government to complain to. Before the Afro-descendant government, Black people, we had nobody to complain to but America. But that's over now. You got government officials in the Afro-descendant nation, a government right here in the midst of America that's here for you, and the doors are flung wide open. We are inviting all of our people. It don't matter if you're a Christian. It don't matter if you are an atheist. It don't matter if you're a Buddhist. If you are a Black man whose ancestors was brought over here from Africa to the Western Hemisphere for the purposes of enslavement, you are Afro-descendant. We implore you to embrace that. We implore you to engage other Black people in the conversation to stimulate their curiosity. Afro-descendant, girl, what is that? Well, girl, come to this meeting with me. And then the man that's in that meeting, he explained it to you. You need to come to the meeting. We need to galvanize our people with this information. They don't know that this is what's going to get us reparations, accepting our identity, our new identity, Afro-descendants. Now, I want to pause for a moment, and I want to ask any of the Afro-descendants or anyone if they have any questions concerning Afro-descendants, reparations, what other groups are asking for, any question that relates to what I just spoke about. We implore you to ask those questions so that we can clear up any misunderstanding, because this is the day of decision, meaning you have to decide if you're with your people or you want to stay African American. That's your call. But you have to make a decision. And that's why we're here today, to let you know you have choices. So are there any questions? And I don't want you to feel ashamed to ask. Right now, I'm your brother. I'm you. I used to be an African American too. I used to be a Negro. I came from the streets and from the very bottom of the streets. So I know you black men and black women. You don't have to be ashamed in front of me. We're the same people. So don't feel ashamed to ask a question if you don't understand something, because if you do understand, that means you have to make a choice. I say, if you haven't made that choice now, go to www.afrodescendant.org. And once you get on that website, there's more information that you can get involved into as it relates to Mr. Silas Muhammad and his interventions, oral and written, in the UN on our behalf, so that you can make an educated decision about you and your family. Are there any questions about what I just communicated?
Yes, sir, Brother Minister. I have a question.
Yes, sir. Who's speaking?
This is the Secretary, Secretary Aluk Dar.
Oh, okay.
Recently, what was distributed from the Lost Foundation of Islam was the census for all the believers and for their families who may not be Afro-descent in the Nation of Islam, for Muslims and for Afro-descendants. That census, could the individuals who signed up for the Afro-descendant letter of declaration, who declared themselves Afro-descendants, could they be added to that letter as Afro-descendants?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because according to the census, it says either you claim both or one. Like because I'm a Muslim, but yet I'm an Afro-descendant also, so I claim both. There are some people who are not Muslim. They're Christians, or they may not be of any denomination. If they have but if they have signed that letter declaring themselves, then by all means, they ought to be added to that census. That census is to be extended to them as well, because they're Afro-descendants.
Okay, this is in regard to the actual signature on that declaration. If you have people who have those declarations of those people, you may have their contact, but I don't know if you may have to physically be able to contact them, but you do have the information. Could they be added to that census as with their declaration alone?
Yes, I would add, yes, with that name and that declaration. But here's what I would do, Secretary. I would contact the National Secretary for clarity on that. You know, because we don't want to make it seem like we're forging anything, right?
Yes, sir.
So we contact the National Secretary and let him know that that's a very good point that you brought up, because we have a lot of people who have signed to be Afro-descendants, and they're not Muslims. So those people need to be, in my humble opinion, added to the census of Afro-descendants.
Mm. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Minister?
Yes, ma'am.
Assalamu alaikum, sir. I'm glad that the Secretary, I apologize, sir. I'm glad that the Secretary brought that up, because today is the deadline, actually, June 12th.
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Well, that may be, we may have to inquire, because this may be a particular special circumstances. Then perhaps, that's why I want him to go to the National Secretary to get some guidance on that, because those people must be considered. And it may be a special circumstance as it relates to them. So there may be some grace period for them.
Absolutely. But just to make everyone aware that this is the deadline, and I hope that you're able to get in contact with him. He was on a meeting this morning, and I did hear him say that he's going to be quite busy. So if you can reach him, it'd be really great on that. Submit it.
Yes, ma'am. Now, on those census, here's what I want. Whenever believers, and this is particularly to the believers, whenever we get information that is coming from the very top like that, never take that for granted. We don't know why Mr. Silas Muhammad is asking for a census. This could be to show the UN that we have enough people to get to demand that the UN step in and put international pressure on America for reparations. It could be, we just don't know why. We need a head count. of all of our people that have signed that letter of declaration and have determined that they are now Afro-descendants and not African Americans. We just don't know why. But what if? What if we have to leave a city because the city is about to be hit with a major calamity? We need a head count in that city. Who's all there? Move them out of that area and move them to an area that is safe. We want to be able to have, we want to be able to be accountable for our own people, Afro-descendant people. This is why we have information to share with Afro-descendants, those of our people that declare themselves Afro-descendants, of which I will be sharing a little bit later also after I get through with the other information for the Muslim. I do have some information that I would like to just share with Afro-descendants in general. So are there any more questions as it relates to the legality or in your mind, the illegality, any fears that you may have about becoming an Afro-descendant or what this is all about? Please ask those questions right now, because what we're doing, it's real. It's real. It's not going anywhere. We are a government. There's a nation right here today that exists. It's functioning. It's running right now. Senators, House of Representatives, just like white America. Legislative branch, executive branch, the judicial branch. What we don't have is our own land, and what we don't have is reparations. That's the meat and potatoes right there. That's the meat and potatoes. And that's why we need our people, whether they participate in the government of the Afro-descendant nation or not. We just need them to accept their identity, political and global identity as Afro-descendants, as a nationality. We do that, well, that's a major step. If there's no more questions, my beloved, I would like to ask those who are not Muslim that if you want to stay on to continue to listen to the teachers, you can do that. It's no problem with that. So the title of what I'm going to be talking about today, and that is, let that will be done. Very interesting topic. I want you to take a look for a moment at your will. Have you ever wanted a car so bad? I mean, you just, the feeling of just, you want that car. The fact that you want it is your will. And because it's your will, now it causes you to go to the dealership or cause you to go online and start looking at cars. And now here's the car that catches your attention. Now you see the car that you want in your mind. And you saying, man, I want this car. I got to have this car, man. You know, I mean, you just feeling it all inside yourself. Your state of mind, your will, your desire has heightened because now in your mind, you see the car you want. So because you see the car you want, now you're thinking about it. I mean, you just, even when you go to bed, you're thinking about it. You wake up, you're thinking about it. Now that you see the car and you see how much it costs, now you're trying to determine in your mind, how can you get the money up to get that car that you want? Keeping in mind that what you want is your will. So you see how much the car costs. So now you start doing whatever is necessary to get that money, good or bad. Why? Because it is your will. It's what you want. And generally, people do whatever they want, regardless of the consequences. Because why do people do that? Because they're in control of their own will. You're in control of what you want. So people generally do what they want. So what you want is your will. So you go out and do what you have to do and you get the car. What you've just done is manifested your will. That's what you've done. You manifested your will. You let your will be done. Even if you're up on hard times. See, the minute you have a will and you want something, you're trying to accomplish something, and the minute you let negativity, discouragement come into your mind, the minute you start disbelieving in yourself, you've already lost the battle. You have to realize and understand the power of your mind. And understanding the power of your mind, you have to understand the power of thought. So when you think a thought, and that thought is propelling you to fulfill your will, what you want. You want to go on a 5-day fast? Well, what is the price that you got to pay to fulfill your will? You already know the benefits of a fast. You already know that the benefits of fasting don't come while you're fasting. The benefits of a fast come after the fast has been completed. So you want to go out on a 5-day fast because you want that benefit. You know what that benefit is like, or you're curious about that benefit. So you go out on that 5-day fast. Your will is pushing you. And soon as you went on that fast, all of the food that you normally like, people are bringing it into your midst, testing your will. But what you want, this fast so bad, that is not affecting you. You're not allowing that to detour you from your will, fulfilling your will. And that is what? To complete that 5-day fast. So you complete the 5-day fast, guess what? You have just strengthened your willpower. Let that will be done. That will, your will is personal to you. Let that will be done. So we can accomplish whatever we want if we're willing to do what is necessary to fulfill our will. And what do people do? Some people sacrifice being disgraced just to get what they want, good or bad. They rob banks. Why? Because they want money. They want money. And this is their way of getting it. It is their will. How they go about getting it, thinking and plotting it is about how they're going to bring their will into existence. Let your will be done. What is your will? Do you have a will? What do you want? This is a question that you must ask yourself when you stand in that mirror and you're looking back at yourself. And there's nobody there but you in that other part of you. You know, that consciousness that when you do wrong, it always lets you know, I'm wrong. It questions you when you're wrong. When you're right, it never questions you when you're right. It's only when you're wrong, it starts saying, wait a minute. That's when you know it's wrong. That's your conscience. That was born with you. You can't run from that. You can't hide from it. You can look yourself in the mirror and tell yourself the truth, or try not to tell yourself the truth. But who are you hiding from? You hiding from yourself? Because you can't really lie to you. I'll never forget when I committed a crime when I was a younger man. I made up this elaborate lie. I held on to this lie for so long. I had started to believe it. I mean, I really thought I was innocent. Until a thought came into my mind. I said, wait a minute, I did this. I did what I'm in jail for. I didn't want to admit it. It took a struggle inside of myself for me to come and admit that. I said, wow. When I accepted that I'm guilty, I stopped trying to get out of it. I manned up. I said, I'm guilty. I got caught, I'm guilty. I did those things. And I accepted my punishment. But when I accepted it, I was at peace. All the other while, I was rather trying to remember what lie I told. When did I tell them this? When did I tell them that? You're always fighting with yourself, so there's no peace inside of self because you can't come to grips with the truth about who you are, what you are, your will. What do you want, Black man? What do you want, Black woman? What is your will? Hold that thought for a moment. Hold that thought just for a moment. Because I want to tell you that it was predicted many years before you and I were even born, thought of, that a great war was coming to this world. A war that will end all wars. This war is scripturally referred to as the War of Armageddon. Now, you hear me speak about this war a lot, but I want you to understand the profoundness of this War of Armageddon, because it comes right back to your will. The War of Armageddon. What is it a war of? It is a war between good and evil, between right and wrong, between the truth and a lie. It is a war that will end all wars. So a man by the name of W.F. Muhammad came to North America. Once he found the people that he was looking for, July 4th, 1930, the War of Armageddon began. How do we know? Look at what, if you go back historically and look at what was going on in America and in the world in 1930, you will see Christianity was blooming. Christmas, Thanksgiving, holiday, all those holidays predicated on lies and wrongdoing, it was at the height, the zenith, until the coming of Master Farah Muhammad, making his presence known. That's when the war began. And he chose a messenger, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And the most Honorable Elijah Muhammad began to do something with Black people that no man in the history of humanity has done. He began to raise the dead from the grave. People who were drug addicts, people who were drunkards, people who were cutthroats, prostitutes, pimps. He began to raise those dead people up and change them. Change them to what? To start telling the truth. To start trying to do what's right. To start respecting one another. This is what the War of Armageddon is about. The War of Armageddon is about changing minds, my beloved brothers and sisters. It's about altering the mind from what it used to be. The mind used to be in a state of accepting evil, lying, committing adultery, fornication, and a host of other evil. That's what the world was all about. You had to lie to go to school. You had to lie to get a job. You had to lie to get on welfare. Everything about a lie you had to do, and you benefited. You didn't benefit from telling the truth, because we lived in a world of lies. We lived in a world predicated on lies and evil. That's the Caucasian man's world. That's the Europeans' world. The Europeans built this world, and they made this world a living hell. So the War of Armageddon is to reverse that. And the man who had the will to end that is Master Farad Muhammad, which is why he came with the notion of a government. But in order to fulfill his will, hear me, my beloved people, in order to fulfill his will, he needed an experienced people. It is like unto, if you're hiring a person for a job, which one would you rather have, the man with the book smarts or the man with experience? You would choose the man or woman with experience, because nothing can beat experience. So if a new world is going to come about, then he had to choose a people who will be qualified. Who will be qualified to do what? To end evil, to end corruption, to end lies, to end suffering, to end wrongdoing on our planet Earth. Because when you look at the world today, aren't you tired of seeing babies dying? Aren't you tired of seeing children suffer? Aren't you tired of seeing sick children in the hospital dying from cancer and all other kind of disease? Aren't you tired of seeing children being abused, women being abused, men being abused? Aren't you just tired of the evil in this world? Who are the best people who could bring forth justice to the world? It is the people that have experienced injustice. You know what injustice is like, black man. You've been right up under it for 400 years. You know what slavery is like. You know the evils of slavery. Then who is the best one that can end slavery but you and me. Through our knowledge, through our experience, we've seen the ramifications, the destruction behind lies, what lies does, the destruction that lies cause. We've seen it all our lives living up under this Caucasian white man. So then who's the best to eliminate lies, to destroy lies throughout the whole earth but you and I? This is why you are God's chosen people. It's because of what you went through, your experience. You are well capable. You're qualified to bring forth God's new government upon this earth. May I say to you, my beloved brothers and sisters, that government is here right now. Behold the Afrodescendant nation. That is the nation. That is the nation that God's will is manifesting in, that will begin to end all this wrongdoing that we see. Because you see, the war of Armageddon, it's us against the entire world. Because the entire world is evil. So if you're not for evil, if you're not for lying, that means you're with the man that's here to put an end to it. You're with the man whose will it is to stamp it out. This war of Armageddon, we won't live to see the end of it. Maybe our children's will. But this war of Armageddon is a war that's going to be a long, it's not going to be easy. But what we're doing now is we're marching through hell with gasoline draws on. Refusing. I want you to hear me, my beloved. Those of us who have accepted the truth, those of us who have accepted this new world government, those of us whose will became the will of our spiritual father, Master Farad Muhammad, those of us whose will became the will of our spiritual mother, the most honorable Elijah Muhammad, those of us whose will became the will of our big brother, the Honorable Silas Muhammad, we are the ones that are responsible for helping to bring an end to this madness that we see all over the earth today. How can we do that? I would like to read something to you out of Our Savior Has Arrived. Now, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I hear this because we're talking about a people who are qualified to bring into existence a new world order ultimately. See, so what we're doing today, our children is going to pick up the slack. This is why we need reparation. We need our own land so that we can start educating and teaching our people our way, not the white man's way, where the Caucasian government is not interfering with what and how we teach our children. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad says, the days of the Son of Man represent the days, years that he will be judging the world and punishing the world for her evil. The Son of Man is gathering, hear this now, the Son of Man is gathering, teaching, and training his people right in the midst of this wicked world. His people have gotten experience of the wicked world, and he teaches them how now to avoid the wicked world and its teaching and yet live in the midst of it. They're living in the midst of the evil world and yet avoiding it proves their worthiness, since they have gotten experience living in the evil world, and now they turn to righteousness while they are yet still in the midst of the evil world. These people have experience of both evil and good. Then if these people brought out of evil world, these people are the people that he said he saved from the fire. Has not Silas Muhammad been teaching us how to live inside of America, but yet avoid it? How many of his followers live in America, work in America, but yet is not partaking in the evils of America? Yeah, we hang out with our friends and conversate with our friends. When our friends say, hey man, let's go and do this, and there's something wrong, We say, no, that's okay, man. You shouldn't do that. But if you want to do that, that's on you. I'm out. Silas Muhammad followers are the ones whose consciousness has been arisen to the state where we are aware that we don't want to tell lies anymore. Let your will be done, black man. If it is your will to stop lying, let your will be done, because you are an integral part of the success of the war of Armageddon. Let your will be done. It is my will. I don't want to lie. Why? Because if I lie, I'm adding to the old world. I go to sleep thinking about the truth. I wake up thinking about the truth. Even when I watch TV, truth is on my mind because it's part of my will. Is it part of your will, black man? Is it part of your will, black woman? Or is it your will to keep evil, lying, corruption, conniving going on in the world today? It is us against the world. I accept this challenge. Oh, Allah, I accept the challenge to help you in suffering on this planet. I accept the challenge, Allah, to help you in evil and wrongdoing on this planet. But the best way I can help is I have to kill it in myself first. So my will must be, how can I eliminate lies from my person? All of us have obstacles that's preventing us from being the best human being we can be. I don't know what yours is. You don't know what mine is. But there's something that you fight with, that you're trying to get over this hump. And it's a struggle. Is it your will to overcome that? It could be lying. It could be a person that have a problem with keeping their word. You could have a problem with maybe some sexual problem. You could have a problem with stealing. Whatever your problem is, ask yourself in the mirror, what is it that you want, black man? Ask the person in the mirror that. What do you want? Do you want righteousness? Do you want truth? If this is what you want, then let your will be done. See, it's not going to be done if you're not willing to sacrifice what is necessary to bring your will into existence. In other words, for something to live, something must die. This is the natural order of things. If you want your will to live, then you must kill the old you. That old you that disrespect women. That old you that connive men out of money and set them up to be robbed. That old you that like to lie and practice deceit. That old you that abuses children. That old you that abuses women. That old you that abuses men. That old you that take advantage of people, that exploit people's situations. You must be willing to kill them. Because then and only then can you become an effective weapon in this war of Armageddon. Because we're marching through hell, like I said, with gasoline draws on, but yet the fire consumes us not. We are impervious to the fires of hell because we don't partake in the things that the people in hell are partaking in. And we call upon you, black man and black woman, who have not yet made this declaration. To embrace this high idea. Embrace this high moral idea to be an upright man, to be an upright woman, to do right by people, black or white, to speak the truth to people, black or white. Commit yourself, commit your will to doing what is right, to speaking the truth, to practicing right conduct. Brothers and sisters, if we did this, we will begin to eliminate the problems that our people are suffering from. Self-hatred, easy to kill one another over penny anything, just even in arguments. What will possess a man or a woman to kill their children? I'm talking about black now. I understand white folks. I understand that. What perplexes me is black people. See, we didn't used to do that. I know. I'm 64 years old. I know black people. We didn't used to kill our kids, brother. We didn't used to kill our mothers and fathers. Sisters, you didn't used to dump. And in spite of the hardship, you didn't used to take your baby and dump them in trash cans and dumpsters. And we caught more hell back then than we are now. Black women weren't killing their children. Black men weren't chopping their wife head off and killing the children and doing other malicious and evil things. What is this? You want me to tell you what it is? I'll tell you what it is. It's called assimilation. Meaning, we're just like the white man now. He's in us now. Do you know he did that on purpose? Do you know when he got us over here, he went in and out of our women on purpose, mixing his blood with ours? Why? To make it easier for us to do wrong. Are you aware that before they came to Africa and they studied us, they deconstructed us? After deconstructing us and knowing what we was all about, knowing our mores, our principles, they knew we were spiritual people. It was their objective to clone us into them. And they couldn't do it until they got us here. 64 years. They tortured and beat you and me and our ancestors mercilessly until we became Negroes. 64 years to make a Negro. After making you a Negro, assimilating you, everything about their ways, you begin to learn. He taught you how to be a gambler. He taught you how to be a prostitute. He taught you how to be a pimp. He taught you how to be a gangster. Everything you are today, black man, your white master taught you that. Black people have even gotten so far that they get blue contact lenses and blonde hair. And I'm talking about black-skinned Afro-descendant people. I got blue contact lenses and blonde hair. They're really trying to get into it. Buying bleaching cream to try to look whiter. The lingering effects of plantation slavery. We have his blood in us. But you know what else is in you, black man? The nature of God. And that's what we're trying to awaken in you. Because see, once you accept the fact as to who you are, then you will come into the awesome responsibility that is before you. The world is not going to change. This is real talk until you change it, black man. And you can't change it, black man. And I'm specifically talking to the black man. You can't change it, black man, until you first change yourself. You got to change your attitude. You got to change your state of mind. You are a product of a 400-year-old system that has made you into a nigger. It's only when you come into your world that you can begin to become a new man. But you must kill that old person. You must do this. It must become your will to destroy him and give life to the real you. And what is the real you, oh black man? The real you is God. You must come to accept that responsibility. And when you come to accept that responsibility, then you will realize that you work for the people. You will become to realize, hear this, that the black people that are blind, deaf, and dumb, those of us who are here standing today, we are a product of their subconscious thinking, because what is their subconscious thinking? They hate what they see as well. Subconsciously, they don't like the evil and the wrongdoing that they see in the world today, but subconsciously, we are the living manifestation of their subconscious thought. And what is that? To end evil and suffering on the face of the planet Earth. But first, we got to eliminate it among ourselves. We can't do anything for our people in Africa or other places until we first correct self, starting with the individual self, and then starting with our whole nation, the whole Afro-descendant nation. And then that whole Afro-descendant nation will, our will to eliminate it around the world will become so powerful that we will be moving like a locomotive train through life, through society. Any nation that is mistreating, that is ruling in injustice, those nations will come to a null. Why? Because they will see a government, the Afro-descendant government, as an example right before them. This is the mission. Let your will, oh man, let your will, oh woman, let your will be done. Your will is to bring about a government of truth and righteousness, freedom, justice, and equality for everybody on the face of the planet Earth. Now I understand when Mr. Silas Muhammad was looking for the truth in Messenger Muhammad book. And he learned, hear this, he learned from studying the books of Honorable Elijah Muhammad. He thought the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, peace be upon him, was fulfilling Jesus. Well, he was looking for proof to verify that. Lo and behold, he stumbled upon the truth that the most honorable Elijah Muhammad is Moses, not Jesus. Hear me. When Mr. Silas Muhammad came upon that revelation, because he was mad because what the son of Elijah had done to the nation of Islam, his thoughts turned to, well, if this is Moses, then who am I? When he found out who he was, when he found out that he was born destined to do what he's doing, he fell down in a swoop and he started to shiver. Let Farrakhan go. Let some of those big captains go, those big men, let them go. I don't know the scripts, I don't know the books. Let them go. They're more learned than I am. When he found out what his mission was, he wanted to reject it. But he said Allah took his mind into utter darkness where he couldn't even remember his name. Now, his wife is a witness bearer to this because she was there when Mr. Silas Muhammad was shaken in a swoon when he realized the awesome responsibility that he had come into. Like, I can't believe it. What? What? But there he was. No. Farrakhan, you go and challenge him. Minister Bernard Kuzmir, the big captains, y'all know more about it. It wasn't until Mr. Silas Muhammad accepted the truth about what he learned that the chastisement was lifted. He said he not ever want to be there again. When you're destined to do a job, you can't reject Allah. There's punishment in store. Now, you can take that for what it's worth. You can take it or leave it alone. To me, it doesn't matter, to be honest with you. I already know the deal. I'm only telling you, if you got something to do, once you've been awakened to the truth, those of us who have been awakened to the truth, if you turn from it, you will experience misfortune. I know this for a fact. I know this for a fact. I've been there. That's how I know it. You can't know the truth, accept the truth, and then turn your back on it. That's like turning your back on God. In fact, it is. There's a whooping in store for you. You either gonna be condemned in hell to the fate of the living Caucasian white man, or you're going to beg for mercy to ask Allah to accept you back. Only then, when you beg, because let's face it, the Son of Man got way more power than you. If this man got power over thoughts that can bring the whole world into submission as his will, which he will do, then it's nothing for him to just wrap you around his little finger. It's only when you beg for forgiveness is when Allah's mercy will come upon you. But you can't know the truth. I remember I tried to, when I found out this was real, I'm like, well, wow, man, this, I'm not trying to do all of this. I tried to prove the teachings to be a lie, just to justify it. I couldn't do it. I just accepted the truth and just told myself this: I'm not perfect, but I'm gonna keep fighting. And maybe in time, I can start eliminating some of the bad things about myself that's not good in time. But I'm not gonna ever give up fighting. I'm not gonna ever quit. I'm not gonna ever turn back, because we're fighting the war of Armageddon. And our people need us, not just in America, but the world is waiting on us. Make no mistake about that. The world is waiting on us. And if you accept Afrodescendant, watch how many black people, watch how many nations come to our defense. They're not going to stand up for you. But when they see us standing, accepting our identity, those slave nations, they're not the ones who are going to stand up for us. But we're talking about Russia. What about China? What about Japan? What about those other African nations? All standing up on our behalf to recognize this newly formed Afro-descendant government. You got to stand up for yourself. There's no other way to put it. Let your will be done. Let your will be done. Let your will be to fight in the war of Armageddon to bring about a government that's going to wipe out all the evil and corruption that we see in time. You and I, let's make our mark in this war. We've been making progress. That's right. It's not a whole lot of us, but the little amount of us it is,